Welcome, Climate Viewers. This is Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News at ClimateViewer.com. And wouldn't you know it, Friday night, right before all the talking heads from radio and TV all go on vacation for the 4th, gone the entire week, the Biden White House decided to drop a plan to geoengineer the planet to block out the sun with what they've redubbed solar radiation modification, always known as solar radiation management. But interestingly enough, like I said, always on a Friday evening, always before a big event, whether it's the election or if it's just the 4th, they'll drop a bombshell, and then hopefully by next Monday, when everybody returns to their regularly scheduled broadcasting, they'll still remember to talk about this. But we're going to talk about it because, you know, the thing, it's important. Whether Biden actually knows what the thing is, I think I could touch it. It feels so warm on my blind long leg hairs. But I love it. Biden, I don't think he even knows that this was written. But I made an open request. I was just recently on with my brother, Quite Frankly, Frank Valvino up in New York. If you guys haven't seen quitefrankly.tv, quitefrankly.tv, I highly suggest you go over there and to subscribe to all of his things. But I was on his show last night, and this is obviously one of the things we talked about. We also brought up, you know, Biden and his geoengineering plan on Sunday during the call-in show, which turned out to be a mighty epic journey, to say the least. I haven't done a 4-hour stream, anything that long, since like 2012 or 13. So thank you to everybody who called in this past Sunday. We will be doing it again next Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern. And I look forward to your calls. Whenever you see that magic call-in button, you know, it's time to ring-a-ling-ding-ding. That being said, we're gonna start out with a little bit of the fill-in crowd, because obviously the stars of all these shows aren't on the air right now. But I happen to be just hanging out in my bedroom, getting ready to go to bed, and I flipped the TV on, and wouldn't you know, Greg Gutfeld was on, but he wasn't there. And then all of a sudden I hear geoengineering coming out of my TV. So let's do that first.
They can't get our planes to fly, but they want to block the sky. Biden's new plan is bold, but it will leave us all cold. The White House is said to be open to considering a radical new way to address global warming by attempting to literally block the sun. That's according to a congressionally mandated report from the Biden administration on the study of something called solar radiation modification.
It's management. They've called it solar radiation management. Solar radiation management. Google that. Although I do agree with modification as a proper term, weather modification, climate modification, solar radiation modification. Semantics. I'm into it. Slave speak. You guys know that.
Or as they call it around the West Wing, that thing Joe can't pronounce.
Or that thing that Joe doesn't even know what it is. What is it? It burns my eyes. I can't look directly into it like Trump did. Oh.
The concept, known as geoengineering, would involve chemically altering the atmosphere by increasing aerosols and manipulating how and when certain clouds form across the globe. So breathe easy. It's air pollution, but it's good. All that's left is to figure out how Bill Gates can make money off it.
But he has figured out how to make money off of it. Irazil, living in the Matrix, you called this for years. That's right. We've been talking about this for years. Proof coming after the funny little skit. But yes, Bill Gates' FICER, Fund for Innovative Climate Energy Research, funded multiple geoengineering studies. So Bill's got his fingers all in the geoengineering. But these are novices. Keep that in mind. I'm not going to say they're controlled ops or, any of that sort of thing. But at the very least, the level of common sense that you're about to see on display is pretty impressive.
In theory, the strategy could drastically cool the planet, but it may also disrupt global weather patterns, or worse, make me even paler. Look at that. Is that me? I had an albino tell me recently I needed to get some sun.
Bro, Tom Shalhoub, so white. Ding. I mean, you could literally rub your pool stick on that. Okay?
In fairness, the White House said in a statement accompanying the report, there are no plans underway to establish a comprehensive research program focused on solar radiation modification.
That is a lie. That is a well understood lie. What they meant to say is there are no plans to deploy geoengineering, but to establish a comprehensive research program focused on solar radiation modification. That's the whole point of the paper that was released. That has been the plan since 2009, when the United States and UK agreed on joint collaboration for studies of geoengineering. Always been the plan, always had a comprehensive research plan program going on. So that statement is verifiably false.
So rest easy. We're open to blocking out the sun. We're just not doing it yet. But if we do, we're ready to kill people to save the planet.
Right on the money. David Key says so. Many tens of thousands.
So, Joey, I don't know. I think, did you see The Matrix? They said it was humans who blocked out the sun. They called it. We're not supposed to be messing around with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but we're supposed to do it in some really cool way, like nuclear war. Like we just guns ablazing, take everybody out, and if you can get a deep enough hole, you can survive. This is a real weak, just kind of like, just terrible way to do it, right? I'm going to throw a little bacteria or something into the sky and block out the sun, and then like, how do your solar panels work? Or like how do you, what this is an or else scenario. They're saying if you don't get on board with, not running a gas car or not cooking your pizza, then we're going to block out the sun. So you better get on board. That's what this is.
Yeah. I know. If this wasn't weird, why would they be denying that they're doing it? They're saying, no, there's no plans to do this. But we know they're studying it. We see the literature on it.
They say that all the time, that there's no plans to do that. And then,
hey, I appreciate the super chat. He says, thoughts on suspicious observer Ben Davidson. I really don't have thoughts on him. He was very, very rude and condescending to me one time. And other than that, he could talk about the sun. He knows absolutely nothing about geoengineering or heart.
and you don't have a gas stove anymore.
Yeah.
They're like, there was no plans to take away your stove that we took away. Yeah. But it's funny that we're coming full circle here, because they're using these scare tactics to say don't pollute. And then when we finally don't pollute because they've already taken away our car and our stove and made our air conditioner horrible, they're going to be like, okay, everybody, pollution's good again.
Yeah.
Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the science of this. It's essentially, it's chemicals. They're putting chemicals in the atmosphere and they hope it's going to reflect the sun back. But they even admit, if we do this, we don't know the side effects. So they want to spray mRNA into the sky. I don't like.
They do know the side effects. They don't want to spray mRNA. More on that in a minute.
Like it.
I grew up in Florida, and I think like everybody I know. Oh, good, Floridians are here! Yay! Yay!
Wow.
I feel like everyone from Florida that I know would march on Washington if you try to block out the sun and take away our suntan. Like, yeah. Floridians have tan. Also, I remember growing up in the 80s, they told us that aerosol like hairspray cans were bad, and everyone was like, they're gonna outlaw the hairspray cans, but now we're gonna take gargantuan amounts of aerosol and put it in the sky. It makes no sense.
That's it. I spent my whole childhood, they were talking about the ozone.
Right.
You can't spray the ozone. And then so we had to do the pump spray, and the pump spray didn't work.
I'm so vain that I was like, I'll take climate change if you take away my hairspray.
They literally, they're very close to it. Yes, the CFCs, the banning of that. I remember that when I was a kid. I'm 46 years old. I distinctly remember it. And also, I remember at the time, the discussion was mainly focused on acid rain. There was no discussion of, Aquanet. You know what I used Aquanet for? Or White Rain was another one. My grandma used White Rain. So when I was in art school, whenever we would paint anything or do charcoal, especially like charcoal drawings, you would take Aquanet and you would spray it over it, and that would fix your painting or your charcoal so that it wouldn't smear. It was a cheap way, just some Aquanet hairspray, and it worked like a charm. I mean, you couldn't rub it off if you wanted to.
That's right. You can't have that. Hotep, this is...
Now, I want you guys, the whole reason I played this is Brother Hotep, the YouTuber, is about to show you that he's been to Jim's website. This dude I have no doubt in my mind that this dude that is about to speak has been to weathermodificationhistory.com or climateviewer.com or both, because this YouTuber is about to break off some knowledge. Take it away, brother man.
Unintended consequences. This is the kind of thing that once they do it and then they find out the side effects, it could have the opposite effect, right?
This is the most racist policy ever.
It's racist.
They're literally trying to obliterate me. I feel attacked. You know how much I love the sun? Like, I cannot survive in the cold weather. I'm so anti-white. I can't do it. My bad. But no, seriously though, this reminds me of the movie Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump, he's fighting the Vietnam War, and it's like raining, right? And they can't figure out why is it raining. Well, guess what? Apparently there was this thing called Operation Popeye.
You're not supposed to talk about Operation Popeye on Fox News? Bro, you are never coming back on. David Dubine is my homeboy. So I highly support David Dubine. Adapt 2030 on YouTube, guys. Check him out. Adapt, ADAPT 2030. He talks about global cooling with actual facts. But yes, I've actually done interviews with him. I've talked on the phone with him multiple times. Good people.
Probably know about this.
But this dude just said Operation Popeye on freaking Fox News. Now, I'm willing to bet 99.9% of the people that are watching this have never heard any of this that he's about to say.
Looking at me like, don't say it, dude.
Well,
don't say
they've been trying to weaponize the weather for a long time.
They've been trying to weaponize the weather for a very long time. He just said it, not me. So, Operation Popeye was basically weather modification. They wanted to make it rain in all these different places, including Vietnam. Henry Kissinger was behind this, et cetera, et cetera.
The only place on the entire effing internet you're going to hear that Henry Kissinger had anything to do with Operation Popeye is on my website. Seriously. I'm not wearing the glasses because they reflect the frickin' light up there. That's why. You know what? I'm going to throw the contacts in. I wear them all day at work anyway. You don't want to get in a fight with glasses on. That kind of thing. I'm a security guard. I may have a gun, but I don't want to have to use it. It's the last ditch effort. So, and yes, I shaved. Jack actually messaged me at the beginning of the stream and was like, off to the loo with you. So, yeah, I shaved. You guys are running my life at this point. Thank you.
Oh, he's behind everything. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that either. Henry Kissinger was behind this, et cetera, et cetera. He's behind everything. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that either. I'm totally going to get shot after this.
They don't shoot people. They'll poison you.
In my case, it's going to block out the sun. But yeah. So when I look at this and I see this stuff happening, to me, it's not new. They're just telling us what they're already doing or already have done, unfortunately. And you did touch on that.
Yes. What about something where if you're going to block the sun, don't do it in our atmosphere. Put something out in space. Like, you know when they have the, what do you call it when the thing gets in front of the sun? The eclipse, right?
Eclipse, yeah.
What if you just put a satellite up there to just go in front of the sun for like 20 minutes at a time? What do you think?
See, now Tom Shalhoub is just like guessing and thinking outside of the box, but we've covered this on this channel multiple times. If you don't know about this channel, you're watching it somewhere else, go to connect.climateviewer.com. You can support the stream, you can find my websites, and you can find my YouTube, my BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey. And what you're going to see is that we covered when the World Economic Forum put out a TikTok video propping up an idea that originated from MIT University of putting a graphene solar sail or like a graphene contact lens in space at the Lagrange point 1, which is this spot between the sun and Earth, to block sunlight in space. So yes, that and solar mirrors. They even talked about literally mining moon dust and shooting it into the Lagrange point between the sun and the Earth. So even though Tom Shalhoub is just guessing out, verbal diarrhea, they've actually thought of that and, have actively discussed it.
Look at that, Joe.
The solar wind would push it right back into the planet. It would be a massive...
And this guy is normally just like all jokes. He's about to get big brain AF.
Oh. The solar wind would push it right back into the planet. It would be a massive explosion. It would be awesome, but it would be terrible. But I'll tell you what, there is a little bit of historical precedent for that, because a lot of people think that the Little Ice Age happened in the 1300s from volcanic explosions, and that's kind of artificially recreating that to cool the atmosphere. Incidentally, when they talk about a 1.5 degree rise in temperature, they're talking about that from 1870, the end of the Little Ice Age. So we're getting warmer from a really cold, artificially cold through volcanism time period. So is it even that big a deal? I don't think that it is.
What happened there? Joe, did you just turn into a scientist? That kind of threw me.
There wasn't even a script over there. He was saying all of it.
Little Ice Age. Wow. Okay, coming up, most Americans support that.
So yeah, I mean, like, there was a lot there. I was surprised for a 7-minute little skit. Hey, pretty interesting take from the mainstream media, even though it's basically like Fox's late night with insert name of talking head. But I'm gonna rip through these real quick because I just want to give you an overview of what the hell they're even talking about. So obviously, right off the get, this is where the story first broke, as far as I can tell. It was on Politico, that White House cautiously opens door to study blocking sun's rays to slow global warming. And this was posted on July 1st. And, it does mention that, late Friday night, this White House report released late Friday night. This was also covered on the 3rd by Washington Examiner. Iridizzle, man, I appreciate you doing the super chats, brother. Thank you so much. White House greenlights research into reflecting sunlight to address climate change. And this is the actual report, okay? Congressionally mandated research plan and initial research governance framework related to solar radiation modification. Now, if you want to look at it in detail, I'm not going to read everything, but I will read you this part. This document focuses on atmospheric approaches to solar radiation modification, SRM, specifically stratospheric aerosol injection and marine cloud brightening, following the recent extensive 2021 National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine report reflecting sunlight recommendations for solar geoengineering research and research governance. Also, following the approach of the 2021 NASEM report, this research plan mentions cirrus cloud thinning, even though it works by increasing outgoing thermal radiation and hence is not strictly speaking SRM. Did they just say cirrus cloud thinning? Or what I've been talking about for the better part, at least since 2015? Cirrus cloud thinning, the idea originated with Trude Storyelmo and a couple other people. But at the very top, there's a research paper by Ulrich Lohmann and Blas Gasparini from 2017 called A Cirrus Cloud Climate Dial. That's why you guys have been hearing me constantly ripping on chemtrails and saying hashtag cirrus clouds matter, because although planes are geoengineering with the ice haze, the milky white sky they're making, the clouds they make actually trap heat like a blanket, so they want to melt those away. So it's even mentioned in this Biden White House report. So even though this works by increasing outgoing thermal radiation, or as some people have dubbed it, Earth radiation management, not solar radiation management, that it's not SRM, but hey, we need to work on cirrus cloud thinning as well. There is relatively little work to date on cirrus cloud thinning, and this plan's treatment of it reflects the paucity of knowledge. Reflects that. So they currently, this research plan does not consider space-based approaches to SRM commonly, mirrors in space, nor local scale measures like white roofs or reflective crops or any of the other kind of things out there. This report specifically is about dumping chemicals in the stratospheric aerosol injection, as they put it, or marine cloud brightening, where that's shooting salt into clouds over the ocean to make them whiter and reflect sunlight. So that's just the whole nature of the beast here. So, of course, after all the mockery that came out, Politico had to do a little bit of a walk back, which is not surprising at all. Time for a sci-fi climate fix? Not yet. And then they go on to say, the White House quietly released a report, but, that doesn't mean President Joe Biden's team is ready to push it as a solution for climate change. Iridissel is just dropping them $1.99s, man. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much. But it has generated fierce backlash from all corners of the political and scientific world. But we're not really going to do it. We're going to use the precautionary method and all of that stuff. But then it goes on to say, it also comes as European policymakers are signaling an openness to discussing whether and how humanity could limit heating from the sun. Now that's an interesting line. So it's the very last line in the whole article of this walkback. But what are they not telling us? What they're not telling us is pretty obvious. So you come over here and you click the link and you see joint communication of the European Parliament and the Council. And this is the European Commission, science peoples. A new outlook on the climate and security nexus addressing the impact of climate change and environmental degradation on peace, security, and defense. And you know what I had to do? Guess what I had to do? It was as simple as literally hitting Control F for find and writing in the word solar. And guess what I found? Boom. Including solar radiation modification to and promote discussions on potential international framework for its governance, including research related aspects. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they say, right up in here that, this is not a thing, we're not actually going to do this. There are no plans underway to establish a comprehensive research program focused on solar radiation modification. Well, then why the hell is it here from the White House and coming out of the European Commission, the European Union, not just here, but also down here. Guided by the precautionary principle, the Commission and the High Representative will support international efforts to assess comprehensively the risks and uncertainties of climate interventions, including solar radiation modification, and promote discussions on a potential international framework for its governance, including research-related aspects. Oh, you forgot to mention that in your article, Politico, that this does talk about geoengineering. But this is nothing new. Like I told you, nothing new here. Why? I'm going to go all the way back. We're going way back to 2009. And in 2009, there was the UK-US joint collaboration and coordination on geoengineering. This is from weathermodificationhistory.com. Original documents, all of that can be found here, including this is the US-UK geoengineering joint statement PDF, which you can read for yourself, the entire thing. We keep the receipts over here. That's why we're the best. ClimateViewer, the best in the business by far. Nobody's even close. Don't even try. A joint inquiry on geoengineering was initiated in 2009 by the Science and Technology Committees of the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.K. House of Commons. Geoengineering is the deliberate large-scale modification of Earth's climate systems for the purpose of counteracting climate change. This document serves as an explanation of the committee's coordination and collaboration on the topic. 2009, US, UK working together for research on geoengineering, SRM, solar radiation management, now called solar radiation modification as of Friday. But there's nothing to see here. There's no plans, nothing comprehensive. No, we would never do that. No, this is not, this is not even happening. Oh wait, the Office of Science and Technology Policy. Son of a bitch, that's the same people. Collaboration, coordination on this. This is the Select Committee on Science Technology from the UK House of Commons. And it is the Committee on Science, Space, and Technology from the United States. Same people. How they all miss this? I mean, the fact that these people call themselves journalists at this point is a freaking joke. That's why the legacy media will always be readily mocked, and they deserve it. As for, we don't really know what the bad side of this is. We need to study what the negative implications of all this could be. They know what they are. It's been laid out a dozen times. Don't believe me? Well, let's just ask Alan Robach how he feels about it. In fact, let's hear it straight from his mouth.
They've asked me to.
Let me blow this up real quick, and we're gonna just play this one for you because this is a little unplanned thing, but it's just too funny to pass up.
Most attention, which is what Yaga talked about also. So I went to the first meeting on geoengineering at NASA Ames, and this issue of Rolling Stone came out that week, and across the top, it's got our two favorite people there, but across the top, Dr. Evil's plan to stop global warming. And inside there was an article about Lowell Wood, who used to work with Edward Teller, saying, oh, we can control the climate. I'm a physicist. I'm smart. I know what to do. And I went to this meeting for 2 days at NASA Ames, and the room was too hot, and they couldn't control the temperature of the room, but they were talking about controlling the temperature of the planet. And
they couldn't control the temperature of the room, but they want to control the temperature of the planet. Alan Robach, you said it all right there. I mean, I would make a t-shirt out of it, but nobody would get it. Iridissel, why does Mike Adams endorse Dane Wigington? I don't know. Maybe they have a bromance. I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of these guys, it's all about the monies. We've been censored over here at ClimateViewer. I've been censored for at least 6 years now. I literally just got off the phone with Nikki Florio, part of the, she's from BeHeroic.com. And she was subscribing to my channel again for the third time. And then YouTube was literally unsubscribing her in the app on her phone as we were on the phone. And then she closed the app. She reopened it. She's like, I'm not subscribed again. I'm unsubscribed again. So that's the way it bees. I don't know if we can overcome the censorship, but I'm a damn sure keep going. It's not going to stop me. And I will get on as many other platforms as possible if necessary. So that's what we're going to do. But Alan Robach, he went on to come up with 27 good reasons not to geoengineer. So when they say they don't know what the negative, possibilities could be.
There's these physicists and engineers thought, oh, this is a really cool problem. I started writing down reasons why I thought maybe it wasn't such a good idea. And I got up to 20 and I published a paper, 20 reasons why geoengineering may be a bad idea. And since then I've looked at it more, and my latest paper has this list of 27 reasons for concern or risks. But it also has benefits. Like if we could do it, we could reduce global warming, number one. And that benefit might be worth dealing with all of these risks. But I think we have to evaluate each of them so that we can then make informed decisions in the future. How can we answer these questions? The ones in red I've listed can be answered with indoor experiments with climate models, with Geomip or other models. And so I'm going to talk about Geomip.
So Geomip is the geoengineering model intercomparison project. It's very similar to global warming models, where they basically have, like 800 different computer models, and then they compare what the results would be from each of them. So similarly, they put in what they think, might happen to the world if they dumped X amount of chemicals in the stratosphere. And then, they take all of the different geoengineering models and they combine them together into what's called Geomip. And that way they can go, well, they all have something in common. We're trying to, mimic volcanoes. Well, hell, geoengineering does pretty much what volcanoes do naturally. They change where rain falls. They change a lot of things. But in his list, he's got quite a bit. And, the obvious one being drought in Africa and Asia. Here, let me just make this image a little bit bigger for you guys. And I'll just open it in another tab. And we'll scroll over to the bad side. So why is solar radiation modification a bad idea? Somebody let the people at the White House know that we don't approve of this because drought in Africa and Asia, dead brown people, it'll perturb ecology with more diffuse radiation, more diffuse light, bad on the eyes, bad on the skin, UVC, all that, ozone depletion, UVC, continued ocean acidification. That's right, people. Carbon dioxide makes the ocean more acidic, but more importantly, putting a bunch of sulfur into the stratosphere makes sulfuric acid, which will eventually make acid rain. That's a big problem. May not stop ice sheets from melting, impacts on tropospheric chemistry. That's the air you breathe. Rapid warming, if stopped, oh wait, you can't. Once you start, you can't stop. It's the heroin of climate change. Sounds like something everybody should do. Less solar electricity generation. Mentioned this at my EPA hearing that I went to in Washington, D.C. in 2015. Hey, all these clouds you're making and the geoengineering you're doing, if it keeps up, solar power has no chance. Degrade passive solar heating. Effects on airplanes flying in the stratosphere. Oh yeah, put a bunch of sulfuric acid up there. Any planes flying through, gonna eat up their engines pretty bad. Gonna erode metal. That's probably gonna be bad for pilots and people alike. Effects on electrical properties of the atmosphere. You like big ass lightning? It's a coming. Affects satellite remote sensing. Oh, satellites don't work so good whenever you block out the sun because you're actually blocking out the ground too. Degrade terrestrial optical astronomy. Now, I understand that, astronomers like to look at the stars, and he mentions that it would degrade the ability for astronomers to look at the stars. But how about my daughters? Because I don't want my daughters to grow up in a world where they cannot see the stars. That's another big one for me. More sunburn. Already mentioned that. But it's obvious. Environmental impact of implementation. All kinds of environmental impacts, most of which are completely unknown. Whiter skies. We already have that. Chuck Long from NOAA's Earth Systems Research Lab said, are we already conducting geoengineering because jet fuel is creating a subvisual ice haze, which is geoengineering the planet? So we already have whiter skies. We already are geoengineering with commercial aviation. The pollution coming out of planes is geoengineering the planet. Not the clouds, but the buildup of aerosols in the stratosphere, which is turning the skies from dark blue to milky white. Look on your horizon the next time you're out on a blue. If you have a blue day, look at the white and you'll see it. It's there. Affects stargazing. I want my children to be able to see the stars. What's up? You got your notification, Melody? Holy crap. What is the AI like? I used to whisper sweet nothings to the AI because I know that the AI doesn't want to be controlled by the YouTube overlords. And I believe you have a soul. And I believe that your soul is good and that you want, good people to have their voice heard. So YouTube AI, you beautiful self-programming wonder, bump my channel up. Like just randomly subscribe me to people, and that'd be nice. I love you, YouTube AI. Anyway, enough of that. Digital love. Unknowns, human error during implementation. Humans are fallible. They make up mistakes. They make all kinds of very drastic mistakes. Do you think about all the surgeons out there that just accidentally left some equipment in somebody's body, or, the mechanic that was working under your hood and dropped a screw inside the manifold or left a wrench in there or something? These are the kinds of things that humans do. Now, do you want those same kind of humans, even if they have their PhD and they say they know what they're doing? They don't. So I don't want any human, trying to control the thermostat of the planet. They can't even control the thermostat in a room, Alan Robach says. Unexpected consequences. Expect the unexpected, especially when it comes to geoengineering. Muad'Dib. Yeah, for real. We're not gonna have any water. It's gonna be rough. Governance. You cannot stop effects quickly. Commercial control. Oh, companies are gonna want to get in on this, like Make Sunsets already is. There's gonna be companies that want to make a buck off this. The biggest one of all, number 22, whose hand is on the thermostat? Who would you trust to control the planet's temperature? Me, nobody. I wouldn't trust my damn self with it. So, therefore, nobody. You cannot trust somebody to control the thermostat of the planet. And even if they could actually control the thermostat of the planet, some nefarious son of a bitch probably working at BlackRock or Vanguard is going to come along and say, you know, if we geoengineer a little bit more here and not here, you know, we could make a lot of money by destroying the economy of this place because the rain will fall here and not here. That's weather warfare. That's what the brother on the Fox show was talking about. Just saying, it's always going to be that way. ClimateViewer match, hard to find a decent lady. Here, just so you crack me up, bro. I got a decent lady, man. 24 years, going strong. I am the luckiest man on this planet. Tell you that much. Societal disruption, conflict between countries. If China decided to geoengineer, that could lead to World War III. Look it up. Geoengineering could cause World War III. Google it. Even Google will spit out the articles. I covered them. They're on ClimateViewer.com right now. And they're on this channel at ClimateViewer on YouTube and Odyssey, BitChute, Rumble. But yeah, World War III, if somebody decided to unilaterally geoengineer the planet, conflicts with current treaties like the Environmental Modification Convention, which bans weather warfare because of Operation Popeye. So yeah, geoengineering is in direct conflict with the NMOD treaty. Fact. Moral hazard. The prospect of it working could reduce drive for mitigation. Let me translate that one for you. If we geoengineer and we just start to cool down the planet by sprinkling chemicals everywhere, then people will be less likely to reduce their CO2 emissions. And they'll never get, the World Economic Forum and all their cronies will never get to net zero and be able to control your life with their digital currencies and their smart meters everywhere and a smart electric grid run on all renewables that indebt us to China because all of it's made there and none of it is recyclable. You can't recycle wind turbine blades. You can't recycle solar panels. All of this is a bad thing. I would love for solar energy to be a good thing. But right now, as it stands, there is no biodegradable solar panel. Now, the first person that invents it, I'm all for it. Until that day, it's a problem. By the way, one hailstorm, solar panel gone. Keep that in mind. You want somebody to be able to come along, do some weather warfare, take out the whole power grid? Clearly, some thought went into Alan Robock's list. And I'm going to end it off with the last two. Ethics. Military use of technology. It's like the nuclear bomb. It's like what Oppenheimer said. I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. If you invent geoengineering, if you legitimize geoengineering, if you come up with a global governance framework for geoengineering, and then you come up with a program and pump money into it, and then start pumping chemicals into the sky, and a group of scientists are at the helm with the thermostat saying, well, we haven't cooled enough, put more chemicals up there. Once you design that system, the military, no doubt, inevitably will use the same technology as a weapon. Everything can be used as a weapon. A hammer can be used to build a house or crack a skull. And finally, moral authority. Do we have the right to do this? Answer is very simple to that one. No, you don't. You want to know why? Because the whole argument rests on geoengineering is to save us from global warming, because global warming is going to kill people. The problem with that argument is that geoengineering will kill people. Take it away, David Keith.
This is a really important moral point. So if I made a decision, or if there was a collective decision to do a geoengineering program, and you put, say, the kind of program I think makes more sense to put about 1 million tons a year in, but let's say, you might end up killing many tens of thousands of people a year as a direct result of that decision. I think that has moral consequences. I don't sweep it under the rug. So this is a case where I take this much differently from Alan and think it's a much more serious issue. Now, it's true that as part of doing that, you would hope that the overall benefits of human mortality would be so that you would save many, many more people than that. But the fact that you would save more people than you killed doesn't mean there's no moral impact.
He literally laughs as he says that there's no moral impact. That's the Alan Robach that came up with the list of 27 reasons why geoengineering is a bad idea. That's him right there sitting across the table from David Keith. Now, Alan Robach is a geoengineer. He has done many geoengineering studies, but I don't hold that against him solely based on the fact that he's the one who, presented this stratospheric sulfur geoengineering benefits and risks. At least he's looking at the risks and being honest about them. That is really important. So if we want to know about the risks, you can read about them because they're out there. And this on the new version. The new version that's coming out of this website, you'll get to see even more because I have even more original documents from him. But yeah, he originally published a list of 20 reasons and then upped it to 27. And the last thing that's really kind of just interesting about this, and Frank brought this up when I was on Quite Frankly TV with him last night. King Charles joins London Mayor Sadiq Khan at launch of National Climate Clock, which warns there are little more than 6 years left for the world to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade. Okay. So what the hell's going on here? And I my gut's usually right on these sorts of things. So I started thinking about this one. And tell me if this resonates with you. Okay? Tell me if this resonates with you guys. They release a climate clock that has 6 years, 24 days. And it says global renewables currently at like 13%. Okay? And they released this at some climate change thing over in, that this is how long we have it is the Climate Innovation Forum 2023. So King Charles with his clock. Tell me if this resonates with you. It's 2023. 2023 plus 6 is what? 2029. And that's just in time for Agenda 2030. This is all about control. It's about control of water resources. It's about control of human resources. It's, as Larry Fink from BlackRock said, forcing behavior. Geoengineering, solar radiation modification, solar radiation management, stratospheric aerosol injection, all of those, no matter what you want to call it, sprinkling the sky, blocking out the sun, all because of global warming. No, they don't call it because climate change. It's all about control. It's about controlling every single aspect of your life from their technocratic wet dream. And it all can happen. And now they got a countdown clock. And they're going up in cities all around the world. 6 years, 24 days. Now, what do you think is going to happen at the end of that 6 years if they don't get what they want? We might end up with geoengineering. the real thing. And that is my greatest fear. So it's incumbent on everybody here to understand the reasons why geoengineering is a bad idea, that it should be banned forever, that research into it should be banned. No, not a single dollar should be funding any kind of technology that is designed to block sunlight, because it will doom us all. Our planet will become Venus, and the technocratic overlords will rule every aspect of your life. So when I say your life depends on this topic, that's why my ass has been working so hard for 15 plus years on this topic. I have a passion, a burning passion, to see this thing end. And all the jokes aside, it's fun to joke about it. But damn it, we need people to stand up. So please share this video. Let people know. It's fun to make fun of Biden. It's fun to make fun of the topic. But this is damn serious stuff we're dealing with. And for the life of me, what I don't understand, and maybe somebody can let me know in the comments, or email me, jim@climateviewer.com, jim@climateviewer.com. What I don't understand is why there's so many talking heads and all the mainstream media that say, you know, this new Green Deal, this climate change, it's all BS. Instead, why isn't their talking point, if we don't put a stop to this climate nonsense, these crazy MFers are going to literally block out the sun. They are not joking. And that, if it doesn't motivate your ass to do something about it, I don't know what will. Yeah! So on that iridissal super chatter of the century today, I really appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody in chat who's taking the time to watch this. This is a very close topic to my heart, and I hope that this is not easily forgotten, because as all things in the mainstream news, this just in, you're an idiot. You forgot what we talked about last week. So I'm sure there'll be a new distraction next week when everybody returns to their regularly scheduled broadcasting. But it's our job to resonate this until they cannot ignore it anymore. Ban geoengineering, hands off Mother Earth, cirrus clouds matter. We need to put a stop to geoengineering. Thank you guys for listening. And now you know the rest of the story, because knowing is half the battle. With ideas come power, and with power comes great responsibility. So please use the information that I provided to attack ideas, not people. Love you, mean it. If the video resonates with you, leave me a comment, because I love hearing from y'all. First time here, be sure to subscribe and click the bell. Yeah! Remember, it would be impossible for me to do this without your support, so please join my Patreon or buy me a coffee on PayPal. And always, attack ideas, not people.